everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth, where we are continuing on in Turnabout Reminiscence. Now we are in a very interesting part. The episode was going on pretty long last time, so that's why I ended it where I ended it. Ooh, excuse me, but honestly, I wasn't sure if there was like a to be continued coming up. It feels like there might be, so it might be a little awkward because it's like, dang it, if I had just continued a few more minutes, I probably could have gotten to a save point or like a to be continued. But you know what? It's fine. We're almost done with this case, so yeah. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. Okay. Alright. Oh, that hairstyle looks familiar! Hee hee hee! What you doing here, boy? I totally forgot he was gonna show up here at all. So, that's interesting. September 10th, 6 p.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. That's Detective Bud, but who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. Interesting that he's here, you know? So this is many years ago, and here him and Edgeworth get reunited many years later. It's destiny. Ah, there's his music. I've missed you, man. I've missed you.
So, did you find it? No, not yet. I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. Heh. So you're the one running the show? Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Even then, they were still fighting. Oh, that instinctual hatred of his. It starts off this way, but I have a feeling y'all gonna end up in the sack. Yeah. Sorry. What the hell, dude? Little cameo. What was that all about? Who was that sexy, rude man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. They're both tapping. They're both tapping their arm. That's so funny. Copying Von Karma. Ugh. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him?
I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids?
You guys do remember he has a mirror in his hand, right? So of course he can see you behind him. Ugh. It looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head.
No, you have a mirror. Oh, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake.
He's like, huh. I'm able to check myself out and keep an eye on my back.
It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bud, who was that rude man just now?
The guy came here from the Republic of Zengfa to study. He's Agent Lang.
Dang, he was an agent even then? I forgot, how much older is he than Edgeworth? Because Edgeworth is really young here, isn't he? He's like 17 or something?
He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies and attain them from scratch.
Even then, he's... never mind. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. Not that it matters because he's gonna be a total douche who's just arresting everyone.
He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude.
Oh no, poor Gumshoe.
Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you.
I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me.
Huh.
Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. Okay, we gotta talk again, bro. Although, I was wondering, should I, because of last time, I'm like, should I look around the room first? Or should I, or should I talk to him? I feel like I have to talk to him, so let's just do that. I should be okay this time.
Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2.
You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad.
Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say.
I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct?
I don't have anything left to say to you, boy.
Boy, you'll see. I will draw my answer from you one way or another. Franziska, whip him.
Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation?
He kinda did last time. Right now, he's back to being uncooperative.
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think?
Ah,
Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation.
Don't push me, kid.
Alright, let's try. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime.
I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do will be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
things you don't know about. But aren't you supposed to know everything?
He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Okay, I was wondering if we were going to do that, so let's do it. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph?
Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case.
In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same?
What? That's impossible.
It looks like he didn't know after all.
This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife.
Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct?
I guess so.
However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife.
Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this?
I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for.
Yeah, he has Kay looking around for it, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
And why were you searching for it?
Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. That after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key took Faraday's life?
Detective Bud, so that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more.
Alright. It doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change.
Okay.
Detective Bud, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1.
I think this part is what I was confusing earlier in the last episode when I was like, oh shoot, I didn't get to examine everything. I think mentally I was thinking that this conversation happened there. But it happens here, so we're good.
My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this.
That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case.
Alright, let's finish it. Detective Bad's movements.
I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2.
It sounds like the exact same story he told us before.
Indeed.
However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can, aka gotta press.
But luckily I know exactly which piece of testimony to press. Okay. Not that important. Even though this one's kind of interesting, it's not worth it. So let's focus on this one.
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary?
I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
If the gunshot Detective Bud heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now.
Sure.
Now this is a tricky one. You have to remember... It's hard when you have gaps, but you have to remember like the sequencing of events. That when we spoke to the judge earlier and pretty much was clearing Gumshoe's name, that something happened in the hallway. Something that caused a loud sound. But I think the judge had said it was 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Which is why we were like, oh, but that goes against what Bad was saying. He heard it right before the trial was about to start. But we know for a fact that the judge heard this. Because he thought it was a gunshot.
Detective Bud, does this balloon fragment,
not fragment,
remind you of anything?
It's the same color as the one Kay was holding that I bought for her.
Because you're a good papa.
Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon?
Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery during the recess. Just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her.
Aw.
Well,
Oh, sorry. I was starting to give him Franziska's voice.
well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon.
So, what about the balloon?
I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point.
What are you getting at?
This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot.
Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well.
So,
What? Don't give me a so? We were all excited, and now you're like, well, it's no big meh.
We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony.
the crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking.
So now you're a poet?
And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? It's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked.
What is that supposed to mean?
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material.
Then you mean...
Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
Bad! This is the part that drives me crazy. You're a detective. You knew this vital piece of information, and yet you didn't share it until now? Why the hell were y'all saying, oh, Gumshoe, why didn't you hear the sounds of a struggle? Of course he can't hear it if the room is frickin' soundproof and he's outside. Second of all, the gunshot that you heard, you, get it? Like, come on, man. I'm already jumping ahead, but I'm so pissed about, like, his stupidity right here. All I can say to defend him in this case is that he's probably still shook up about losing his partner. You know, losing Faraday. He's probably really heartbroken. He's just like, this day sucks, you know? So he's not thinking.
No!
Ugh.
I knew that's what he was going to say. Then that means that Scruffface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sound of a struggle.
Yes.
No! That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids?
No! You're stupid, man! I love you, but you're stupid right now.
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around.
No, don't let him trick you. He thinks he knows it all, but we're about to blow a hole in everything because he's being an idiot. Come on, Edgeworth.
The other way around. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine this situation in reverse, the person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot?
Here we go.
What do you mean, how? I just did.
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words, you frickin' moron.
How dare you? Oh, how so?
If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears?
I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought.
Yeah. Oh, you're still an idiot, but I do feel bad. You're so sad over Faraday. Oh.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
It boils down to this. There must be a reason
As to how detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically shouldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh?
The state of the crime scene. Wait, can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it.
Yep.
Ah, way too noisy.
Yep. Television set's very high. Surveillance video. Piece of evidence disappeared. And you know what happened on that video was the murder that Macrell committed. So, missing evidence. Let's see. Scent of flowers is in the air. Let's do the smell first. And whoosh! It's been a while since we've used logic.
It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. And yet, the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. The criminal couldn't have made it through, but what about incorporeal things? Like ghosts.
Okay. That was very loud. Incorporeal. I'm trying to remember the order of which I'm supposed to connect this. I'm gonna say... we're gonna collect these two first. And... No! Fuck! Sorry. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Okay, it's tricky because it's like you're trying to figure out what exactly they're asking from you. So we're saying... Because this one just came up. So let's say something could travel through, and this has very high volume. So then we'll connect to what exactly traveled through. Okay, should be these two. And whoosh! Yeah, got it. Alright.
Now then, what else besides a smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So, no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations.
Yes, here we go. Windows were open, so the gunshot could be heard, but where did it originate from? Here we go. You're being so smart, Edgeworth. So that missing evidence, where the murder was happening.
The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member.
What throws me off, and I don't know if this applies or not, like if the video is playing and you hear the gunshot, by the time they walked in, was the TV still on? Or was the screen completely black? Like, is it the type that it was able to play the audio only and the screen was off? And then as soon as they walked in, the video happened to end already? Like, that's what I'm kind of a little iffy on. I don't remember if they actually addressed that, though.
The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka!
That's his other favorite saying, other than the nook and cranny.
The evidence that the missing evidence... Wait.
Oh, that was a weird sentence.
The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place.
Here we go.
Miles, what have you been thinking about, standing there looking with a cross-eyed face? Cross-eyed face. Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again.
And as usual, she's only pointing in this direction. But you know, in this case, it actually works out because she's pointing directly at what we need to investigate.
It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look. And where would that be? Exactly where you were pointing to, Franziska. You're a genius. I am? I mean, of course, yes, I am. I believe we should examine the television.
I believe he's pointing, but his arm is being blocked by Detective Bad's body. Yep, I see a little hint of his finger. That's awkward.
Like, what are you doing, boy? Pointing around me. TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like.
There we go. Oh, are we close to, like, is it only this one thing we have to examine and then that's it? And then we got a save point? Let's just do it, guys. It might take only a few more minutes, you know? Rest, every nook and cranny. Yeah, we know. Okay, let's look at the VCR.
It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape, could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bud, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video?
Sure, knock yourself out.
Alright, then let's rewind this and see what we have.
Ah, VHS, I missed you.
If I remember correctly, the footage of Rel killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape.
But I hear them rewinding a lot, so it makes me wonder, like I said, if they were at the end of the tape, then was it just pure silence at the end? Or, you know, I don't know.
Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Rel shooting the embassy staff member.
I knew it.
A missing piece of evidence. The surveillance video was here all along.
Alright.
The sound. What's the meaning of this?
It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out then? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced. Alright, now to show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Alright. What it was and where they heard it from? Deduce. This felt somewhat connected to any of the evidence I hold. And then I'm supposed to show the videotape? I'm confused. What exactly am I showing? Or am I doing the window? Like, that's what I'm... No. Let's try the window then. We heard it. Just as with the spilled perfume in lobby number 1, if the windows were open, that piece of evidence's sound would also dissipate out. Now show what they heard and through where. Okay, I think we're connecting to. So it's fine to do the window. Deduce that it's connected to the video. You know? That makes sense.
If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser.
That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were.
However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot.
Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it.
Ah, but then why would the criminal open the window in the first place?
To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose.
Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this.
But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction.
We're a little young for that, but okay. Sorry. Bad joke, thanks.
Very well, I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of?
That would be when the crime took place.
The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes. And they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so.
Yeah.
So that's why the tape was left running.
You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video?
Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought.
That sucks, man.
It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period, and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer.
Alright. Heal me. Yeah! No.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, what is it?
Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something.
It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something.
Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over.
I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say.
It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth.
Alright.
To be continued.
We're almost there, you guys. Whew. This is going to be interesting. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. And until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.